What's up, agents? Jet4th here, and here is my super incredible, fantastic, heroic, ready true Patriots build. When it comes to legendary, I have yet to set foot in there, so I'm not sure. In all honesty, I do not think I have my extraction library filled up enough or have enough god rolls for me to even want to attempt it for how insane the difficulty is in the game now. 1.3, anybody? Oh dear lord. What you can expect from this build is really high DPS and really high armor, which I'm sitting at 1.1 million, which is rather easy to hit because of how this gear set is now. I don't necessarily want to call this a support build because of how True Patriot is set up, but it is a really good support build when it comes to the perks and stuff that comes with True Patriot. But so far, using this for the past couple of days, I did manage to make it through heroic with a bunch of randoms. There is gameplay that I posted yesterday of it if you want extended gameplay, mainly just the end final boss in Wall Street where you get the Bullet King LMG, which I did get it. Oh, thank goodness. But either way, like I said, things you can expect from this is really high DPS, really high armor, and some pretty decent healing and blah, blah, blah. I'm done talking. Like, comment, subscribe, and let's just get into this build, shall we? Alrighty, for our specialization, we will be using the gunner, which, yeah, I am definitely guilty of not leveling up because, well, it wasn't that great before, and LMGs were not the meta, but they are definitely coming back in full swing now. But anyways, this comes with a lot of perks, and we will want to be using all of them, which are, but not limited to, killing enemies grants 10% armor. Every third reload is 50% faster. Armor kits repair 100% armor and grants 30% bonus armor for 10 seconds. Generate 10% of total ammo capacity every 60 seconds. Party members receive 5%. I do like this one, especially in heroics. Rate of fire increases by 5% on kill for 5 seconds. And this combined with perfect frenzy on our weapon, we are generally going to keep our rate of fire increased, which is also very nice. 15% weapon handling while not moving, need to be motionless for 1 second. And finally, bigger than standard pouch that fits on any belt-fed weapon, which gives us a plus 50 rounds for our LMGs. And finally, the foam grenade, which is actually pretty nice now. I cannot deny. On to weapons. For my primary, I decided to go with the Sleipner, I don't know how to say it, which this is an MG5 variant. Now, I am fully well aware that the MG5 has a muzzle attachment on it, and this does not. However, I do still feel like this is the better choice. Getting an extra 10% stability, I do not believe is going to make or break this weapon, especially seeing as how this rolls with perfect frenzy. And end rant, just as a refresher, the way to get the blueprint for the Sleipner, that is what we are going to call it from now on, is just by doing the field research for the gunner. There is no other way to get it. If you don't have it, totally just use the regular MG5. And there you have it. That's it. That's all I got. As for mine, I was able to get it up to 76.1k damage, 800 RPM, and 116 mag. We are getting 116 because of the specialization mag pouch. My core attributes are 14% LMG damage and 12% damage to targets out of cover. Very wonderful. And increased mag size, which gave me 1 extra. Awesome. Caliente's perfect frenzy. For every 8 bullets in the magazine capacity, gain plus 3% rate of fire and plus 3% weapon damage for 5 seconds when reloading from empty. And let me tell you, this thing blazes after that. And while we're on the topic of LMGs, last night, right before I got off, I was like, one more run of Wall Street in New York to try and get the Bullet King. It did actually drop for me. I know I am just as shocked as you are because I really didn't think I would ever get it after my merciless experience. Now, I haven't been able to spend a whole lot of time using this yet, but as for the damage on it, it's rather low. And overall, mine just kind of rolled like crap, so I don't know. As this being a viable option for this build, I don't think so, really, especially with how this one rolled. A lot of the things with this is you're going to have to lay into enemies for like a half an hour to actually take them down because of how spongy they are. And in all honesty, how the difficulty in this game is right now, it kind of gives me nightmares about Division 1 1.3 for any of my OG players out there, in all seriousness. But I don't know, if you guys get it to drop and try it and have a better roll than I do, let me know what your experience is with it. But for me right now, I'm just kind of on it, if you know what I mean. As for my secondary weapon, I am now using an M700 carbine. In the gameplay, I did have an SRS-A1 equipped, but never really used it. However, now I am using this because this has spike on it. Headshots grant plus 20% skill damage for 8 seconds, because I am using a turret to help with ad control, because man, those dudes like to rush you, and the turret is a good deterrent. Anyways, the damage on mine is 516.3k, which is, I guess, okay, but it'll be better once I actually upgrade my specialization. My core attributes are marksman rifle damage, headshot damage, regular attribute, damage to targets out of cover, and that's pretty much it for that. I'm so sad to see holstered talents and equipped talents go. And finally, for my sidearm, I am using a PX4 Storm Type F, which has a spike. Headshots grant plus 20% skill damage for 8 seconds. Once again, you could really use whatever you want. Without having holstered or equipped talents, it's a crapshoot on literally whatever you want to use. Use whatever you want. In all seriousness, that's it. That's all I got. On to armor. For my mask, I am using a Patriot defense group. For the plus 10% LMG damage, core attributes, weapon damage, regular attributes, critical hit chance, weapon handling, and critical hit damage. And that's it. As for my chest piece, I'm using a Shishka Vyorobra SRO. Any Russian friends? Let me know how to say that. Maybe that's Russian. I don't know. For the plus 10% a critical hit chance, core attributes, weapon damage, regular attributes, explosive resistance, armor regeneration, and a protection from elites. As for my talent, I am using kinetic momentum. When in combat, each skill generates a stack while active or not on cooldown. Stacks increase your total skill damage by 1% and total skill repair by 2%, up to 15 stacks per skill lost when on cooldown, which is great for the turret, actually any skills. And then I'm also using a healer drone with this, which is really great for that. Unless I'm being solo by myself and holding down the fort somewhere, then I will switch to my hive like I did at the boss battle in Wall Street. And now introducing our first piece of true Patriot, which is my holster. 2 pieces gives you plus 30% ammo capacity, 3 pieces gives you 30% magazine size, which I think is completely broken because, yeah, it didn't go up or it's capped. I don't know. Massive, come on. What are you doing? And 4 pieces gives you red, white, and blue. Every 2 seconds, enemies you shoot receive a stack debuff of red, white, and blue. Red amplifies the enemy damage taken by 8. White, shooting the enemy repairs you and your allies' armor by 5% every second. And blue, decreasing the enemy's damage dealt by 8%. And finally, full flag. Enemies that die while under the status effect of all 3 debuffs create a 5-meter explosion, dealing damage equal to their total health and armor. Explosion damage reduced on named enemy deaths. As for my core attribute, it is armor, and my regular attribute is weapon handling. Next up, we have the backpack, our second piece of true Patriot. 2 pieces gives you... I'm kidding. You really think I'm going to read all of that out again? Nope. Core attribute is armor. Man, I can do a lot better there, let me tell you. Regular attributes, weapon handling, and incoming repairs. As for the new Italientes on this, we have a patriotic boost. Increases red, white, and blue debuff strength. Red, 8% to 12%. White, 5% to 8%. And blue, 8% to 12%. I do actually like this, and this is really good. This is really good for playing in a group and or with randoms, because with all of this, you're debuffing everything, their damage, their blah, 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 and all that stuff. So I do like this. It is a really good set now. Not that it wasn't that bad before. Our third piece of true Patriot is the gloves. My core attribute is armor and regular attribute weapon handling. I'm sure by now you're like, why are you stacking so much weapon handling on this? It's because the expansion has only been out for a couple of days, so I pretty much just threw on whatever the highest attributes that I have extracted are. I actually would like to end up putting more crit hit chance here or something along that lines. It's just, you know, RNG and, you know, the way the game goes and how it likes giving you stuff. And finally, the knee pads, the fourth and final piece of True Patriot, which I have armor rolled on them, and then the regular attribute is weapon handling once again. And that, my friends, is pretty much it for the build. As for skills, I am using the turret for ad control. It really does a good job of A, taking them out and damaging them, and it also keeps them from rushing you depending on your placement. And then also the fixer drone, which is pretty great. But if there are a lot of ads coming after you and just whatever the level is filled up with them, you might want to go with the healer hive because they will shoot your drone out of the air rather quickly. And even though this isn't skill based at all, the reason why I went with kinetic momentum is because of the amount of stacks. You will actually heal up pretty quick, and your damage from your turret or whatever skill you decide to use also increases too. All your skills. It's, in all honesty, a really good talent. I cannot deny that. I ended up liking it a lot more than I thought I would. And well, my fellow agents, that is pretty much it for the build. Just keep in mind this is just a blueprint. However, this did turn out to be a lot more powerful than I thought it would. It is definitely heroic ready. I did make it through heroic with a bunch of randoms. If you did miss the video that I posted yesterday or previously to this, I did show, I don't know, 10 minutes of gameplay of me at the boss battle using it. But that's it. For me, it is on to the next build. If you have any suggestions for the build, go ahead and leave them in the comment section down below for other people and stuff and things. That would be fantastic. But this video has already gone on way too long, so I'm shutting up. Hit the old like button for me if you could. That would be amazing. Subscribe and all that other junk, and I will catch you all on the flip side. Peace!